What if the people who avoid others are actually the ones thinking about connection the most? Not attention, not popularity, real connection. The kind where you can finally stop overthinking every word you say. The kind where silence feels safe instead of awkward. Because some people don't avoid others because they hate people. They avoid people because people exhausted them. And that changes someone slowly. At first, they still try. They reply fast, they open up, they explain themselves honestly, until one day they notice something painful. The more emotionally available they become, the more emotionally unsafe they feel. So now they hesitate, not because they don't care, because their nervous system remembers things their mouth never talks about.
The betrayal they minimized. The conversations that made them feel stupid for being emotional. The moments they finally trusted someone and regretted it afterward. People think emotionally distant individuals are cold. Most of the time, they're overwhelmed. There's a huge difference. These are the people who secretly hope someone texts them first, then stare at the notification without opening it, because deep down, they want connection desperately. But the moment connection becomes real, fear quietly enters the room too. And psychology explains why. Once the brain starts associating closeness with disappointment, love no longer feels calming. It feels risky. That's why emotionally exhausted people overthink tiny things nobody else notices. A slower reply, a different tone, less enthusiasm in someone's voice. To most people, those things mean nothing. To an emotionally guarded person, they feel like warning signs, because their brain is constantly scanning for emotional danger before it happens again. And after enough heartbreak, people stop relaxing around others. They start monitoring themselves instead. How am I being perceived? Did I say too much? Do they secretly find me annoying? Was that message too emotional? That's why some people leave simple conversations mentally drained, even when nothing bad actually happened.
Because while everyone else was just talking, their brain was calculating emotional risk the entire time. And eventually, solitude starts feeling easier. Not happier, just easier. There's less disappointment there, less explaining, less pretending to be okay. Some people become so emotionally independent, they don't even know how to ask for comfort anymore. They handle everything alone for so long that vulnerability starts feeling unnatural, almost embarrassing. So instead of saying, "I'm struggling," they disappear quietly. They isolate. They distract themselves. They convince themselves they prefer being alone. But deep down, most emotionally avoidant people are not craving isolation. They're craving safety. That's the real difference nobody talks about. Because human beings are wired for connection. Even the people who love solitude still want someone they can emotionally exhale around. Someone who doesn't drain them. Someone who doesn't force performance. Someone who doesn't make them feel like they have to filter every emotion to stay accepted. And maybe that's why emotionally guarded people seem confusing. They pull people closer, then suddenly push them away. They crave intimacy, then panic when they finally receive it. Not because they enjoy hurting others, because part of them is already preparing for disappointment before it even happens.
That's what emotional self-protection looks like. Quiet, invisible, exhausting. And honestly, some of the loneliest people you will ever meet are the ones pretending they don't need anyone at all. But here's something important. The human nervous system can change, not through pressure, not through forced vulnerability, but through safe experiences repeated slowly over time. One calm conversation, one person who listens without judgment, one relationship where silence doesn't feel threatening. That's how emotionally tired people slowly stop running. Not because someone fixed them, but because their brain finally realized connection does not always have to end in pain. And maybe that's what so many people are secretly searching for. Not constant attention, not endless validation, just one person who makes closeness feel peaceful again.